Hello, my name is Holden Pate, and this podcast is about the historical context, legacy, and impacts that the Clery Act has on higher education. With me, I have Tanner Paul, a 3-year community advisor from Texas Tech, who I'll be asking questions about the Clery Act. Okay, Tanner, what is the Clery Act?
So it is an act based off of a crime that happened back in the 1980s against a woman. I believe her name was Jeanne Clery,
Yep.
and uh, I believe the story goes she left her door propped, and because of that, uh, some sexual assault crimes
Mm-hmm.
were committed against her,
Mm-hmm.
and because of that, the parents of Jeanne Clery uh, brought up an issue uh, with a lot of higher education
Mm-hmm.
that did not properly, they said the higher education did not properly address uh, safety resources
Right.
and stuff like that
Mm-hmm.
inside residence halls.
Mm-hmm.
And so this act is, its primary purpose is to increase reporting,
Mm-hmm.
to bring awareness to a bunch of different issues.
Mm-hmm. Yes, most of that correct. Little bit of, I guess, marks missed on that explanation. You're right about Jeanine Clary, 1986, at Lee University in Pennsylvania. She did get sexually assaulted and then murdered in her residence hall. But it doesn't only go to residence halls. It's on campus higher education, period. So instead of it being just catered towards a residence hall, it's campus wide. And yeah, like you said, Janine's family, or Jeanne's family, they investigated Lee University first, and they found out that the universities they didn't report many crimes that were happening on campus, and they sued, of course, as they should, of course. And with that money, they used it to take it up to uh, legislation. And in 1990, the Campus Awareness and Campus Security Act was passed. Um, I mean, it later, of course, got renamed to uh, honor Jeanne Clery. And
I
and
uh I primarily learned about the Clery Act during community advisor training,
mhm,
and through that, really the only context I have with the Clery Act
mhm,
is a obviously training over it, but specifically in a Maxium report, which covers a slew of different issues that happen on campus.
mhm,
It's pretty much a box you select at the end to for the university to count and collect the number of crimes that occurred. And so I didn't not realize it was campus wide. I thought it was just university student housing that did that.
no, from what I understand, it's just any higher education, period. Um, so, for example, if vandalism was to be like spray painted on a wall, crime, vandalism, that's what gets reported through the Clery Act. Um, Now, before you were a community advisor, did you have any knowledge or um, prior knowledge to Clery Act beforehand?
No, not at all. The first time I heard about it was the CA training.
Which makes sense because, of course, like I said, it is only catered towards higher education due to this incident that happened with Jeanne Clary. Now, um, a question that I did want to ask you, because you're a community advisor, is do you have any? what's the word? I guess conflicts when Title IX is brought up and Clery Act is brought up. Is there some sort of confusion between the two? And or actually, that's the question I want to ask. Is there any confusion between the Clery Act and Title IX?
So in my role right now, not particularly.
Hmm.
I don't really, in the terms of the acts themselves
Hmm.
and the legislator side,
Hmm.
I'm not sure. But in the terms of my role right now, um, I was always taught to defer to writing a Title IX report rather than a Maxian with a Clery Act reportable at the bottom. I believe Title IX is automatically Clery reportable. I'm not sure about that.
I don't believe so because it's hard to say.
Mhm.
That's where me personally I get confused on it because the whole purpose of Title IX initially was sex discrimination,
Exactly.
which a lot of that went towards college sports and stuff.
Mhm.
Is that a crime? I That's where I get confused on. Like, is it a crime or is it not a crime? I would think it would be,
Absolutely.
but
Well,
the discrepancy there is just a bit little hazy.
and I see what you're saying because exactly what happened to Jeanne Clery was exactly like you said. Today it would be a Title IX incident.
Mm-hmm.
Um, of course, her murder would. I don't even know that what report that would be, but I'm talking specifically about the sexual assault.
Mm-hmm.
That would that would be a Title IX report right now,
Mm-hmm. Of course.
and it wouldn't fall under Cleary,
Mm-hmm.
or it would. I'm not sure about that, but um, especially due to the confidentiality of the Title IX cases,
Mm-hmm.
that's where I don't know if they still get reported in the Cleary. I assume they do.
Yeah. Yes. Well, yeah. They have to. I mean, if we go back to Janine or Jeanne's situation,
Mm.
um, what happened with her, two different acts, both are of course reportable in this situation because one, they're crimes. It's any crime really. So murder, crime, sexual assault, crime, all that gets reported. I mean, even some as small or not really as small, but like um, alcohol possession.
Mhm.
That's clearly reportable. It's not to the extreme of a sexual assault case, of course, but there are still, you know, still a crime. Um, Now, in your role, have you been able to incorporate anything Clery Act relatable in your programming or floor meetings?
So, in my first couple years as a community advisor,
Hmm.
there was a lot of there was a lot of differing issues. Each one of them was very very different. But I remember my first year there was a big problem with guys going down to girls' floors
Hmm.
and creating. I don't know. They weren't doing anything like a crime, but they were making women uh,
Uncomfortable?
uncomfortable.
Right.
And I don't believe that was a Clery Act violation. Um, but I've had to address a variety of issues that all fall under the Clery Act: vandalism, uh, specifically hate crime, vandalism. Uh, Last year, a lot of my residents would tear up the bathroom, and that would be a for information only uh, report
Yeah.
because I wouldn't know who actually did it,
Yeah.
but it would still fall under Clery because it was vandalism.
Right.
So I've had several incidents over the last 3 years that have fallen under the Clery
Hmm.
umbrella.
Right. So, okay, thank you for sharing that. The process for Clery Act, I mean, of course, it's just crime, so it's easy to report and stuff.
They've
Uh,
made it very simple where you read
hmm.
the boxes that
Hmm.
they give you
Hmm.
and you literally just click the box that it correlates to, which is exactly why even without an in-depth knowledge of the Clery Act and how it relates to the Title IX, I don't know if Title IX is an act or not, but
Title IX is, yeah, it was amendment to the Civil Rights Act of 1972.
gotcha.
Yeah. So of course, I mean, this is off topic, but Civil Rights Act, 1964, in 1972, it was amended
Mm-hmm.
and added the Clery, or not Clery Act, the Title IX, which, of course, eliminates sex-based discrimination.
Understood.
Um,
But uh, exactly, I had forgotten the difference between them, and so, but university student housing has made it so I didn't necessarily need to know all the
yeah,
nuances.
nuances, yeah.
Nuances. They've made it super easy to report.
Yeah, and um, yeah, overall, the training I think has helped. And being a campus security authority, it's imperative that you do know, of course,
Mm-hmm.
because as a when these crimes don't get reported, federally funded institutions like our own, of course, uh, heavily fined, of course, and um, which is why I think they do such a good job in teaching.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just not only for the to keep from getting fined, but also because having that information is important.
Exactly.
See, the goal of the policy in question, it is to inform, at least it's supposed to inform parents of how safe an institution is or should be. Every year what is it?
They send out those
They
reports.
send out the report every, I think, October.
I believe so.
Every October, I think second, I believe. Uh, they have to No, October 1st, sorry.
Mm.
October 1st every year they send out the annual security report, which again is in Clery as well. It's part of the policy. Uh, it's supposed to just, educate and inform parents, anyone who's interested in that university of what crimes that occur in the institution. Um, now that I mean, you knew what the Clery Act was.
Yeah,
So, do you think the Clery Act has an impact on the overall safety and well-being of an institution?
I think so. I think it's very important to know where and how frequently these crimes happen
Hmm.
because, like I said, when I was a freshman, I had no idea about the Clery Act. I saw that email. I didn't read it. I assume I saw it,
Hmm.
um, but I just skimmed past it because I didn't think it mattered. But as a community advisor, I've seen how frequently crimes occur
Hmm.
and how it's really nice to have that report to see, wow, what's going on? Maybe how can we change it? How can we prevent this?
Hmm.
Um, so I think it's had a really big impact just by having an extra box to check on a report.
Yeah.
You know how frequently and where these crimes happen.
Yeah, I think it's extremely important. I think it not only, like you said, it shares the information and data of when and where these crimes occur, but it also makes parents like reassured if there's a low crime rate. But also with that, I mean, of course it's illegal, but some people are going to miss those boxes to check, I think. And it's always a concern of any parent, I would assume, this overall safety, you know?
Absolutely.
Um, now, have you have a bunch of peers.
Mhm.
Do you think they have the same knowledge of the Clery Act as you?
I would say no, just because I have been through the training
Hmm.
3 times. I know exactly, maybe not exactly like situation based. I know exactly, oh, this is clear,
Reportable,
reportable, but
yeah,
I can figure it out
yeah.
pretty fast. I know why it should be implemented and why it's important.
Hmm.
So, to answer your question, a lot of my peers, as far as community advisors,
Yeah,
they have a good understanding because they went through the training,
of
but
course.
maybe not. Maybe if they've only gone through the training
Just
once,
not experienced like you.
exactly.
So,
And
okay.
maybe they haven't had to do one of those reports yet.
Hmm.
But as far as peers, like other students at the university,
Hmm.
that could be an entirely different story. Like I said, when I was a freshman,
Hmm.
I didn't care.
Yeah.
Especially like as a man, and especially on tech campus,
Hmm.
I feel inherently safe.
Yeah.
But
It's different for
it's
women, of
it's
course.
different for women.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They feel, yeah, of course. Um, which that lead me into a pretty good area. Uh, there has been a amendment to the Clery Act
Hmm.
in 2003. It's called the Violence Against Women Reauthorization Act,
Mhm.
which, like you said, women feel unsafe sometimes because, I mean, naturally,
Mhm.
it's um,
The majority of
yeah,
sexual assault cases
yeah,
are committed against women.
and not just sexual assault. This act actually expanded it, uh, such as domestic violence, dating violence, and stalking,
Hmm.
which, as the name suggests, is catered, of course, towards women because they see this more often. So with that, it has expanded a little bit, and as far as the numbers, um, I'm not sure if they're. I'm not sure how much has it's gone up or down before 2013, but now that it's in the annual security reports, we can actually have a visualization
Hmm.
of how safe it is for, if you had a daughter, you would feel more comfortable seeing, none rather than not seeing anything at all.
Exactly.
Um, Now, do you feel like there could be any improvements to how the Clery Act is taught and or educated to CAs?
To CA specifically.
Yeah, I would say CAs because me being the resident life coordinator and you being a CA, we both have a direct responsibility to, know this stuff essentially to a T.
Hmm.
Is there anything that might be confusing or not being able to understand when it comes to Clery Act?
Like I said, a lot of the nuance that comes with it being a legislature and each community advisor being a campus security authority,
Yeah,
which means you're a mandated reporter
yeah.
and you have to report these things. And they've done a fairly good job of hammering this home.
Yeah.
Um, but I feel as though almost every year during training, the Title IX and the Clery Act,
Do they start meshing?
they start meshing, and it seems like they're trying to compact it more and more
Hmm.
for other other areas that don't matter as much.
Right.
And so I think they should hammer this home a little bit more, not to not to switch the focus or anything,
Hmm.
but we've had a QPR training
Hmm.
every single year.
QPR, can you let everyone know what QPR
It's
means?
question, persuade, report, I believe.
Okay.
Um, it's a no, it's question, persuade, refer,
Okay.
and it's a uh, suicide prevention training.
Right.
And while it is very useful and it is very
Important. Yeah.
impactful,
Yeah.
I've gone through that training 3 times and they haven't changed it a single bit, but it takes 2 hours.
Right.
My first year we hammered home Title IX in the Clery Act.
Yeah.
And in my job, I've dealt with suicide ideation 2 times.
Yeah.
And while those were 2 very stressful times,
Yeah.
and I needed to know exactly what to do,
Hmm.
I used the Clery Act literally almost every time you file a report. At least what more of the important reports.
Yeah. Well, most of the time when you're filing Clery, you're usually doing a conduct report.
Exactly.
So most times conduct is it is clearly reportable. I mean, there are other instances like you mentioned earlier, the FIO for information only. You don't know who it is, so you can't exactly mark it as Clery. Although there are instances, actually, you
I
can
thought you
mark it as
could,
Clery.
yeah.
Actually, sorry. For instance, a defamed mural,
Mm-hmm.
clear reportable. Although you don't know who it is, it's still a crime that does get
Counted.
reported and counted, of
Yeah.
course. And of course, student of concern, which that's what I imagine that training is pretty much for, is for student of concerns.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I mean, I can understand why it'd be 2 hours of QPR training.
Absolutely. That was just an example.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Well then, scratch that. Um,
They could easily spend way more time uh, diving into Clery.
mhm,
And I think using the reports would be a great visualization in training
mhm,
to show why this matters and
mhm.
like hammering home that this is just numbers off the top of my head, like 50 or so sexual assaults in
Yeah,
Wall Gates.
yeah,
That would be a very like impactful thing to show community
yeah.
advisors to see why this is important.
Mhm. Do you think students understand like how the Clery Act protects them, or do you think
Students or community advisors?
students?
I don't think so.
Okay. I mean,
And that may not be for a lack of trying.
mhm,
They don't necessarily like the reason I started reading these reports
mhm,
was because in the email it said, here's the Clear Act report or
yeah,
the security report of Texas Tech. And I
yeah.
was like, oh, wow, that's interesting to read. But
No,
as
no,
a
I agree.
freshman,
I
I
agree.
could care less.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's understandable, which personally, I mean, it's hard to really tell if it's really an impactful thing
Mhm.
for me, from my perspective, because most of the students here are freshmen.
Exactly.
And that first year, you're not worried about that.
No, you're not.
You're here to, enjoy your time in your residence hall and or on campus. Most of the time, I mean, it's after the fact,
Exactly.
typically, that you really start gaining an interest and looking into these things, into the Annual Security Act.
Exactly like you said
Mhm,
earlier, the parents, it's
mhm.
ultimately
It's
a better tool for them.
I feel like it's not really for the students, it's for the parents. Do you get what I mean by that?
I see what you mean.
I mean, I'm
I
not
would,
saying it's not for the students, but per se, I'm saying like
the parents use it.
the parents will use it and base their decisions off of it. Because I mean, like you said, you had no prior knowledge of Clery Act
No,
before you came and became a community advisor. That's for most people. I mean, it is understandable. It's only for higher education. I mean, comparatively to Title IX, which is any
mm-hmm.
K through 12 up to higher education, it's any federal funded institution or school, whatever. So, I mean, unless you're in higher ed, like a family that knows higher ed, for example, like first generation students, they have no idea. I mean, you don't hear that Clery Act until you're in college.
Or I would add on to that international students
True.
because Tech has a very high number of international students,
Hmm.
and I'm friends with a couple of them, and I don't even know if they know anything about the Clery Act. I'm
Right.
just assuming, you.
Well, it's not something you're taught.
No, it's not.
Because it's technically for unless you're going to higher education, it's not exactly uh information you need to know, you know?
Exactly. It is incredibly important tool, but not a lot of people know about it.
I would advocate to expand it,
Expand the.
Clery Act, not only to just higher education, but any federal funded education institution.
I see that.
Because one, uh, it goes further than just higher education. These crimes happen everywhere. And having a database of this information, it could not only help parents find their correct or find a place that they feel comfortable being at, but it also can help uh, teach, learn, and understand what happens on a crime-based level in any education institution.
That's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
I would say they need to expand on the advertisement of the report coming out every year
Mm-hmm.
because an email, yeah, everyone should get an email, but
Oh, you
I
look
think
at it, yeah.
I think posting it on every single university webpage right there front and center. So
Mm-hmm.
everyone goes and looks at this is the security report of this year. Are crimes going up? Are crimes bad?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I go to this university, is a crime likely to happen?
Yeah.
Or if I go to this university, do I need to take extra precautions
Mm-hmm.
because crime is going up?
Yeah, of course. It's always good to know. And with that, I think it's time to wrap up this interview.
All right.
So thank you, Tanner. I really appreciate you giving your insight and your experience as a community advisor and being able to tell your experiences and give your perspective on this thing, on this policy. So thank you.
Thank you.